So I wanted to talk about We Are Never Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift. Or sorry, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift. I think this song has what I consider to be a perfect pop hook. I just wanted to explain why I personally think this hook just hits all the boxes, checks everything. Let's get into it straight away.
I remember when we broke up the first time, saying this is it, I've had enough. 'Cause like...
So of course the main thing I want to talk about is the chorus, but to get there I kind of need to talk about the other stuff, the things that lead to it. The verse, for me what's really interesting about this is lyrically she's just kind of throwing in like details, right? She's talking about like this specific thing, like I remember when we broke up the first time. As a listener, we hear that lyric and we think, okay, she's talking about a relationship that's, you know, on and off, right? I remember when we broke up the first time. And then she's describing like what she said, what happened, how she felt about it, and what he said, all these things, right? We know kind of the general idea of what this song's gonna be about from that opening lyric, but she hasn't gotten to like a hook yet. To me, the hook should be the thing that the song is about, like distilled into like one thing, one phrase that's really simple and like this is the thing we're talking about, right? But since she's in the verse right now, she's gonna be giving details, sort of talking about the thing, kind of dancing around it a little bit, right? So we can kind of be guessing, okay, where's she going? And of course, I mean, knowing the name of the song kind of helps us to guess where she's going specifically with it, but she's giving us hints. She's dropping little details and things, telling the story, right? But the chorus is gonna be what like the moral of the story is, if you will. I don't know if I'd say this is like a moral of a story, but I can't really think of a better word.
Then you come around again and say, baby, I miss you and I swear I'm gonna change, trust me.
Also, the melody is really catchy already, right? Pretty much every part of this song is a hook. Right, just these like 3 notes, really, really simple. And that's what you'll see in this entire song, or hear in this entire song. She's never doing anything super complicated in terms of vocal melody. But a big reason for that is if people can sing along to it, it's probably gonna do a lot better than if people can't sing along to it. They're not simple to the point of being boring and lame. Like there's kind of a line you have to walk, right? Where like you might go too simple, right? And just do something that's completely rhythmically boring and musically uninteresting. And I'm sure to some people this song is totally that, and that's cool if you think that, whatever. To me it's just right on that line of if it was simpler it might be kind of boring, but it's not quite there. So instead of being boring, it's fun and light and sleek. It's not overdoing it in any way, you know? It's just like really straightforward and you can grasp it really quickly and easily. That's a skill, I think, the ability to walk that line so well like she does. That is really, really hard to do. So this is clearly building, right? She goes to a new hook. She's going a little bit higher in the melody. Right, so it's a lot higher than... And lyrically, she's kind of getting a little bit closer to the thing we're talking about, right? In the first verse, she's talking about all of the stuff that was happening in the past when we broke up the first time, saying this is it, I had enough, all of those details from the past. And now she's getting more recent, call me up again tonight, right? I think she said tonight. We called it off again last night. I got that wrong. But still, very, very recent, right? And she's talking about like, now here's the thing, we're really getting to the thing that I'm gonna talk about in this song. I'm getting to the hook. I also like the syncopation here, just the, we called it off again last night, but, right, so a little bit of syncopation on again last night. Doing that, I've said this before, but I think it kind of helps it move along, right? When there's a little bit of that syncopation, you're like, all right, where are we going next? You know, we're getting to a bit of a groove. I think it's just more interesting than if she had just gone, called it up again last night, you know, just straight up on the beat every single time. And then, right there, she changes the rhythm from da 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 da. She goes to something that's not syncopated, da 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 da, right? Just right on the beat, hitting those downbeats, telling you, I'm telling you. I think of it in sort of a drummy way, because like on the drums, there's kind of it's a certain type of fill you can do to lead into a big part of a song, where you're doing some kind of syncopated groove, you know, and then you just do boom, boom, and then you know that it's going into something big. you know it's going right into something big. So that's what she's doing with the vocals, and I love that. I think that's great. Now finally, we get to the chorus.
We are never, ever, ever getting back together.
A lot of things here. First of all, and this is something I just noticed now, she goes to doubling the vocals. So before, she had just one vocal that's sitting in the middle, right? One vocal track. And then for the chorus, she brings in much more vocal tracks to layer on top of it, right? So many Taylor Swifts all singing the same thing, and then she spreads them all out, right? So there's one Taylor Swift over here, one Taylor Swift over here, one Taylor Swift right here, maybe a couple kind of in the middle there, and that gives it the effect of being much, much wider, and also gives it something that this chorus really has, which I mentioned a little bit before, the sing-along quality, the layering of vocals, saying like, hey, this is a thing that multiple Taylor Swifts are singing, so multiple people can sing it, right? So you can sing along too, and everybody can sing along to it. Also, what I love, and this is probably my favorite thing, a simple phrase, right? We are never, ever, ever getting back together. The way that she phrases it, the way that she sings it, is rhythmically very similar to how one would say it. We are never, ever, ever getting back together. That's how I would say it, kind of not even thinking about the song. That was pretty similar to the rhythm. You know, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. That long pause between the last ever and the word getting, having a decently long pause after we as well. It's really how you would say it if you were saying it with conviction to somebody. We are never, ever, ever getting back together, right? That really like, you know, I'm serious about this. That's how you would say it in that rhythm, and that's how pretty much anyone would say it. What that does is it makes it really easy to sing along to. Rhythmically, it's a little weird, right? There's kind of a strange sort of syncopation on the evers, right? We are never, ever, ever getting back together. It almost gets, it's close to like kind of a triplet-y thing. It's a weird rhythm, but it isn't gonna be weird to somebody listening to it for the first time. You're not gonna have to like think super hard about the rhythm because it's how you would say it. I could hear this one time and then I could probably sing along to it the next time. I just gotta say it with the notes basically. So that's super well done. Being able to do that while also fitting it into like a chorus melody, a melody that sounds like a chorus for this song, really impressive, and something that is very hard to do. Another thing about the syncopation and the rhythm of these words that she's saying here, keeping in mind that this is kind of the way it had to be because this is how the words would normally be said, like I was saying before. It kind of builds tension through the syncopation, hitting the we on the downbeat, and then you hit that G, which is the key, I think, of the song. You hit that we on the downbeat, and that's like, hey, we're here, we're in the chorus, we're starting off strong. And then you get into that syncopation, never, ever, ever, right? So it's like, where are we there? It gets kind of weird rhythmically. And again, still easy to follow because it's how you would say it, but still, that rhythm is a little bit weird. It's a little bit unusual. So we get left there after her saying never, ever, ever. We're kind of in this space of like, okay, she's got to find the beat again because we're way off the beat. She's just done this kind of weird syncopated thing. She got way ahead of the beat, and she does get right back to the beat, and that kind of rounds out the whole phrase. It really resolves it rhythmically. So we are never, ever, ever, where are we? Getting back together. We get right back on getting back together. Even like really going down into the details, the words back together, when I say them, right, you can hear like I'm putting emphasis on the syllables back and get, right? Back together, right? I wouldn't say back together. I wouldn't say back together. She made sure to put those syllables on the beat, right? Back together, not back together, not back together, back together. And that's what makes it work so well and really get that feel of it being right back on the beat at the end of that phrase. So I hope that made sense. I kind of went into the strange details of what my mind thinks about when I listen to these songs.
We are never, ever, ever getting back together.
So she does it again, but if you just straight up repeated it the exact same way twice, that would be a little bit monotonous, a little bit boring. Instead of going back to the G on the second time she says we, the second time she starts that phrase, she goes, What I love about this whole thing, right? All this stuff I'm talking about, it's all about how easy is this and how fun is this to sing along to. When you listen to this, how much do you want to sing along to it? It's an anthem, right? It's a thing that people are supposed to hear it and relate to these lyrics, turn this song on in the car, and then everybody starts singing along to it. That's the idea here. Doing this little wee really contributes to that. It has this very kind of free, fun sound to it. She's not like going super precise, really making sure to hit those notes. She's kind of singing that wee and just sort of throwing it, right? Wee, you know, whatever. We're just having a good time and everybody's singing this song and having fun. It's very, very purposeful. Like, this is not an accident that this happened. She's singing it in this way that is similar to how somebody who's just like yelling out these lyrics, just like not even worrying about the notes, wee, just sort of throwing it, singing it however you want to sing it. There's just a little bit of that kind of freeness to it, but she still makes sure to hit the notes because, you know, she's a professional singer and, you know, she's got a melody to sing. So that's really great too. Another thing where she's just gonna do it a little bit different, just slightly, because again, we wanna keep it easy to sing along to, but we also wanna keep it interesting. We wanna walk that line. So she just does something that's a little bit different. She repeats that phrase of going, you know, we are never, ever, ever, but then she adds an ever. Never, ever, ever, ever. She gets even more off the beat with those evers. So if we're counting by 4, we are never, ever, ever, ever getting back together, right? She hits on 1, and we're already in the next section when she does that. For some reason, that really works in pop music. She clearly knows that it works really well in pop music, and that's why she added that extra ever. And another reason to add that extra ever is to just really emphasize what we're talking about in the chorus. Like, we're never, ever, ever, ever getting back together, you know? Like, if you don't think I was serious the first 2 times I said it, this time I added another ever. Okay, this time I'm telling you. I'm not really gonna talk about the rest of the song. I mean, she does another verse and it's good. She does the pre-chorus again, and you know, it's kind of the same thing with adding more details, kind of talking about the specific events that happened and then leading up to a specific event that happened recently. And then the chorus of like, you know, this is what the song is about. This is the hook of the song. This is what I've been talking about the whole time. Just makes it happen and it works. If somehow you haven't heard this song, I would be really surprised because this is like a huge hit, but check it out. I think it's a really, really great example of what I consider to be a perfect pop hook. I think I'll probably talk about more perfect pop hooks in the future. Maybe this could be a little series of sorts. Thanks for watching. Give me a subscribe if you want to do that. Give this video a like if you want to do that. And if you don't want to do that, then don't do it. By the time this video comes out, there's a good chance that my album will be out, this album I've been working on. If it is out, I'll probably have a link in the description to go and check it out. I'm no Taylor Swift, but I think, you know, I did an all right job and I'd like to know what you think. Thank you for watching. I will see you someday. Or no days, I don't know.
I'm not secret no more.